Hi there, I am Randy Lindberg at Rivial Data Security. Here at Rivial, we use streamlined risk models for information security to help our clients assess their vendors and suppliers' cybersecurity posture. In this brief video, I will be reviewing 5 easy steps to help you understand your vendor's cybersecurity. When you are researching a vendor or supplier, you need to know their business strategy, corporate ownership, geographic locations, the company's finances. Is the company solvent and will they be around for a while? Most importantly to me, of course, the vendor's cybersecurity posture. What is the likelihood they will experience a data breach that involves your sensitive information? With that in mind, let's look at 5 steps for assessing vendor cybersecurity risk. Step 1 is to know what report you are reviewing. When you request security program documentation from your vendors and suppliers, they will most likely send a SOC 1 or a SOC 2 report. SOC 1 reports cover internal controls over financial reporting and may or may not include information security controls. SOC 2 reports are more geared toward information security by covering trust services principles around security concepts such as confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Each of these can be Type 1, which covers only the design of the controls, or Type 2, which covers the design and operating effectiveness of the controls. Which report is best really is a much longer discussion. The point here is simply to note what you are reviewing to better understand what the report is telling you about the vendor's cybersecurity program. Step 2 is to open the audit report and search for subservice as shown in the example here. This will lead you to a section of the report that explains who the vendor relies on to provide the IT service to your organization. Subservice organizations could be data center providers, application developers, or backup tape storage facilities. SSAE 18 SOC 1 reports will have more details about subservice organizations, but it is still important to know what your vendor is doing, what they rely on subservice organizations for, and what is included in the report you are looking at. In this example, you can see the vendor relies on another department or organization within the same company. Because the audit was limited to this one department, however, any physical security controls in this report are only for the corporate facility, not production servers that are providing the actual service to your organization. Step 3 is validating that key control areas were tested and there were no findings for those key controls operated by the vendor or operated by their subservice organizations. At Rivial, we do dozens of vendor cybersecurity assessments every month. This is a partial snapshot of the form we use showing some of the control areas we look at. Whether you use our template or something like ISO 27002, having a control structure to base your assessment on speeds up the process and ensures you don't miss anything critical. If the vendor listed subservice organizations that are relevant to the service you get from that vendor, you'll have to rely on their vendor management controls or review the audit reports of the subservice organizations yourself. Step 4 is to search the report for complementary user entity controls or something very similar. Record the controls listed and include them in your internal IT risk assessment process. You should find controls like user access management, business continuity, and sending data securely to the vendor. Without these controls in place at your organization, the vendor security program will not be as effective. This step closes the gap between vendor risk and IT risk introduced by the information system provided by the vendor. And finally, step 5 is reviewing the vendor's legal agreement with your organization to make sure that certain contractual obligations are in place. Your compliance or legal team may have a contract checklist available. If not, you can check out the FFIEC Cybersecurity Assessment Tool for a list of items to look for as shown here. A great example is responsibilities for responding to security incidents. Not having a clear plan in place with the vendor to deal with a data breach puts your organization at risk. I hope these 5 steps will help your vendor cybersecurity reviews. We also have a template available as a free download at rivialsecurity.com, Vendor Cybersecurity Template. Enjoy.